on to Lionsgate. Lionsgate is
Lionsgate is in real trouble. We have said that the entire entertainment industry is in trouble, but the bigger companies can coast for longer. Lionsgate doesn't have the capital that some of the bigger companies do.
And it's sad because for a while I could at least rely on Lionsgate to be in many ways less message focused than a lot of the other studios. John Wick movies, they're just these action movies. They're not trying to push anything on me. You know, it's just, but let me go on to say, while several studios have continued to struggle at the box office in the post-COVID landscape, Lionsgate, the home of beloved franchises like John Wick, The Hunger Games, and Saw, has had an uncharacteristically poor 2024, and it's had a massive effect on their box office haul. Hollywood mythology is filled with tales of studios going bankrupt after a single failed project. Battlefield Earth, flatlined franchise pictures. I saw that opening weekend. New Line Cinema couldn't recover after The Golden Compass. Yeah, that one did not do well. And even It's a Wonderful Life, yes, the beloved Christmas classic Forced Liberty films will be bought out by Paramount Pictures. But what happens when a studio has 13 financial duds in a single year? If you spent more than 5 minutes among online movie fan circles, you've undoubtedly known about Megalopolis, The Crow, and Borderlands having horrendous box office results and being pulled from theaters early. But sadly for Lionsgate, this is just the beginning. Lionsgate 2024 began fighting an uphill battle. Miller's Girl, starring Martin Freeman and Jenny Ortega, failed to make back half its budget, grossing under $2 million against $4 million production budget. I'd never heard of that movie. I'm just saying. While $1.5 million barely covers the catering budget for a major motion picture, it was the start of a debilitating trend for the studio. In the first half of 2024, Imaginary, Arthur the King, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Unsung Hero, and Ordinary Angels all underperformed against projections at the box office, even if some were profitable. Aside from The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Guy Ritchie's latest, starring Henry Cavill and Alan Richson, the rest had comparatively small budgets. It didn't help the fact that one of your lead actors on that Ministry movie was running his mouth. But the latter half of 2024 saw Lionsgate enter studio-ending territory as the projects they predicted to tentpole blockbusters performed even worse than their original horror and indie flicks. The aforementioned Borderlands, The Crow, Megalopolis have all had disastrous theatrical runs. Add to that 1992, The Killer's Game, and Never Let Go, and to paraphrase Joe Exotic, Lionsgate will never financially recover from this. Lionsgate highest grossing movies of 2024 so far has surprisingly been The Strangers Chapter 1, a poorly reviewed horror film directed by Rennie Harlin and starring Madeline Pacelli. Rennie Harlin directed that? He's the guy that made Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger? The Strangers Chapter 1 grossed $47.8 million worldwide. To put in wider context, means that none of Lionsgate's 2024 releases have passed the $50 million mark at the international box office. What does this mean for Lionsgate? So is Lionsgate really in trouble? Well, yes and no. Lionsgate is considered to be a mini-major studio within the industry. While it doesn't have Scrooge McDuck-esque vault filled with money like Disney and Warner Brothers, it doesn't have to beg its grandma for finance like the owner of a small indie studio. The studio does have a financial backlog from its 2023 hits for security. Last year, the studio released Saw 10, John Wick Chapter 4, and The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, which is such a long title, to the incredible box office results, but having funded major productions, The Crow and Borderlands, that financial security run out very quickly. For Lionsgate to survive its disastrous 2024, it needs to hold the fort until next year. 2025 could see Lionsgate earn back its abysmal box office earnings this year, thanks to its bigger franchises, as well as the eagerly anticipated Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. The studio will also be releasing from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, Saw 11, and Now You See Me 3 next year. It has taken them forever to make a third Now You See Me movie.
Yep.
What was the holdup there? Did you see either of the old ones?
Who was in that one again?
Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson. I think.
Okay, I saw the first one. Yeah. I saw the first one.
They did a sequel. The sequel was kind of funny because they kind of did a retcon on Morgan Freeman's character. how he was kind of the villain in the first one. Then it turns out, no, he's not really a villain, in the second one.
Well, and that whole idea of the sleight of hand, nothing is what it appears kind of thing, kind of lends itself to retconning that way. So I'm not mad at that.
Basically, he was a friend of the one guy's father and, learned a lot of tricks himself. Do you understand? So,
right.
But Orion Pictures, TriStar Pictures, Lionsgate now, just Disney. Paramount will be left, and Universal, unless something.
Well, Paramount actually stands to go under before Disney does. Disney is on a death spiral, but
yes,
they are one of the ones I was thinking of that has enough money to continue coasting and getting away with.
I think the thinnest ice right now. Maybe it's Lionsgate, but I think Warner Brothers is on thin ice right now. This Gunverse had better hit it out of the park.
Yeah,
because it's you can't just slap Superman on something and expect it to sell. The movie has to be great, and I've said it before. You have to kind of eclipse the Donner Superman movie. This has to be like The Dark Knight versus Batman '89. How they're both these beloved classic Batman movies.
Yeah.
You need to do something on that level, or you forget it. You can't phone it in now. There's no more phoning it in with DC characters. You have to don't even get me started on Wonder Woman 84.
Oh God,
Wonder Woman 84. What a complete botch that was. Lionsgate doesn't have their own streaming service, so they can make some money selling movies to Netflix. They do that. In fact, was the Beekeeper Lionsgate, or was that somebody else? That might have been somebody else. But
I don't know.
That was a big movie this year. Morgan's Brains were blowout hard.
Honestly, there's more money to be made in licensing your shows and films to someone else than there is in having your own streaming service.
Yeah. Okay. DC has also had an albatross of how they treated Snyder, Cavill, and the fans. That doesn't help matters. I mean, there were people who still liked the actors they were using, like Cavill and even Gal Gadot and stuff. And of course, you had the Ezra Miller stuff in there too, which just was